the best dividend paying stocks in the Kenyan stock market for the month of October and November. Well, hello there and welcome to today's video whereby, as I've said, we'll be looking at which companies are sharing part of the profits and reserves that the company has with shareholders. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If not, welcome back, and I hope you have already subscribed. All right, okay. Today's video will be interesting. I'll share more information later on, so keep watching. Now, I'll segment this video in this way. I'll mention the company, the sector in which this company is listed, the dividend type, the share price, the dividend per share, the book closure date. This is the date as at which you are supposed to own, not buy, but own these shares to qualify for their dividends. The payment date, that is the date you can start expecting to get that money. And if you own 100,000 shares of each of these companies, how much do you stand to go home with on the payment dates? If that sounds like something you are interested in, keep watching. And these companies are 10. We have 10 companies for the month of October and November. Let's get started, right? For the new viewers, a dividend stock is simply a company that is listed on the stock market that usually shares part of the profit this company makes with their shareholders, that is the owners of these companies. And you can become a shareholder by buying these companies on the stock market. All right, so the first company on our list today is none other than Jubilee Insurance, that is Jubilee Holdings, which is in the insurance sector. Now, Jubilee announced an interim dividend of 2 shillings per share. The current share price of Jubilee, as at the time I was compiling this list, was 320 shillings per share. Now, the book closure date for Jubilee was on 5th September 2025, and the payment date will be on 9th October 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Jubilee, if you owned 100,000 shares of Jubilee as at the book closure date on 9th October, you will be going home with 200,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. Yes, before taxes. Why? Because dividend stocks, the dividend from dividend stocks is taxed 5% withholding tax before you get the amount. So whatever you receive is usually net income. All right, there we have it. Number one, Jubilee Holdings with a dividend of 2 shillings per share. The next company on our list today is a company that is listed in the banking sector. Now, this company is none other than NCBA. Now, NCBA announced an interim dividend of 2.50 shillings per share, and their current share price, as at the time I was compiling this list, was 69.75 shillings per share. I expect it to be 70 shillings per share by now. So the book closure date for NCBA was on 18th September 2025, and the payment date will be on 2nd October 2025. Now, if you owned 100,000 shares of NCBA at the book closure date, you will be going home with 250,000 Kenyan shillings in passive income. Now, the next company on our list is none other than EABL. Now, EABL is listed in the manufacturing sector. Now, EABL announced a final dividend of 5.50 shillings per share. The book closure date for EABL was 213 shillings per share. Now the book closure date for EABL was on 16th September 2025, and the payment date will be on 28th October 2025. Now if you owned 100,000 shares of EABL as at the book closure date, you will be going home with 550,000 Kenyan shillings in passive income. You simply invest your money in this company and let the money make more money for you, and that is how we make wealth, having your money work for you, right? Okay, now the fourth company on this list is Centum. Now Centum is listed in the investment sector, and it announced a first and final dividend of 0.32 shillings per share. Now the current share price of Centum as at the time I was compiling this list was 15.20 shillings. Now the book closure date for Centum was on will be on 14th October 2025, and the payment date will be on 15th December 2025. Yeah. In December, Christmas time. Some people will be earning more, not only from their salary but also from their investments. Now if you own 100,000 shares of Centum as at the book closure date, you will be going home with 32,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. Yes, before taxes. Now the fifth and sixth companies on this list are giving dividends in a different way. Now there are two ways that a company can give you dividends. One is by cash, sending you money, and they send through either M-Pesa, your bank account, or through the post office. Three ways that you receive dividends. All right, and this company decided, these companies decided, in addition to giving our shareholders cash, let us give them extra shares. Yes, the shareholders of these two companies will be receiving extra shares in addition to the dividends that they have already received. And these two companies are Williamson Tea and Kapchurwa. Yes, Williamson Tea and Kapchurwa have announced a bonus issue. Yes, bonus shares of 1:1. For every one share that you own of these two companies, you will receive an extra share free of charge. No more money. You don't need to put in more money. You simply need to own these shares by the deadline, which is on 13th October 2025, and from 14th to 17th October, the registry will be closed to facilitate these additional shares to be distributed. So there you have it. Williamson Tea and Kapchurwa Tea will be issuing bonus dividends on 13th October 2025. So let me know, will you be participating in this bonus issue? Let me know in the comments section below. And there we have it, number 5 and 6 on this list. Will you be participating? Will you be taking advantage of these bonus shares? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, now the current share price for Kapchurwa as at the time I was compiling this list was 390 shillings per share. I expect this share price to even go higher. The other company, that is Williamson Tea, their current share price was at 325 shillings per share. Now remember, this is only for information purposes. Always do your own research first before you invest. The purpose of this videos is to show you that there are opportunities out there. So before you invest, do your own research, make your own decision. Otherwise, let me know, will you be taking advantage of these bonus issues? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, the seventh company on our list today, before we go to the seventh company, I'd like to remind us that next week, that is October 9 and 10, we'll be having our own masterclass. That is, I'll be taking participants through how you can get started with investing in shares in Kenya. That means from the process of what is a share to how do you pick the right stockbroker for you, to how do you identify whether a company is overvalued or not, and so much more. Register using the link in the description box below or in the pinned comment section. In case you see this video, you watch this video after date 9 and 10, you can still access the recordings through the description box below. Yeah, I hope to see you at the masterclass. However, if you miss it, you can still access the recordings in using the information in the description box below. Yeah, there we have it. Now, number 7, the seventh company on our list today is none other than Standard Chartered Bank. Now, Standard Chartered Bank is in the banking sector. Now, Standard Chartered announced an interim dividend of 8 shillings per share. The current share price, as at the time I was compiling this list, was 284 shillings per share. The book closure date for Standard Chartered Bank was on 11th September 2025, and the payment date will be on 7th October 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Standard Chartered Bank by the book closure date, you will be going home with 800,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. There we have it, the first 7 companies on our list today. Now, the 8th company on our list today is none other than BOC. Now, BOC Kenya is in the manufacturing sector. Now, BOC announced an interim dividend of 2.50 shillings per share. The current share price of BOC was 123 shillings per share. I remember a few months ago it was less than 90 shillings. Yeah. Which is amazing. The stock market this year is doing so well. So BOC, the book closure date for BOC was on 20th September 2025, and the payment date will be on 14th October 2025. Now, if you owned 100,000 shares of BOC by the book closure date, you will be going home with 250,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. Yes. And this is the time that I remind you, if you have not hit that like and subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Hit that like and subscribe button, right? Because it encourages me to continue creating these videos. And stay tuned, because I'll be sharing a breakdown of the companies that I am watching this month, and yeah, in the foreseeable future. And one of those companies is none other than Kenya Pipeline, and also the potential listing of Family Bank. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, back to our companies. The 9th company on our list today is none other than Absa. Now, Absa is in the banking sector. Now, Absa announced an interim dividend of 0.2 shillings per share. Now, the current share price of Absa is 21.90 shillings per share, and the book closure date for Absa was on 19th September 2025, and the payment date, sorry about that, the payment date will be on 15th October 2025. Now, if you owned 100,000 shares of Absa Bank by the book closure date, on the payment date you can expect to go home with 20,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. Now, before I give you the last company on our list today, the purpose of me sharing the price and also the dividend amount is for you to be able to tally the dividend yield, and this is what we use to gauge how much are you getting in return. So for example, for Absa, you'll just take the current dividend price divided by the current share price. That is the total dividend that Absa has paid within that financial year divided by the current share price. For example, let's take a common example like Safaricom. Now, Safaricom paid a dividend in March and also sometime in August. The total amount that was distributed was 1.2 shillings per share, and so you'll just take this 1.2 divided by the current share price, which is 29, to give you the dividend yield for Safaricom. I hope that helps someone. Okay, the last company on our list today is none other than KCB. Now, KCB is in the banking sector. Now, KCB announced an interim dividend of 2 shillings per share and a special dividend of 2 shillings per share, making our total dividend of 4 shillings per share. Now, the current share price for KCB was 56.75. I'm saying was because this was as at the time I was compiling this list. So 56.75 is the price for KCB. Now, the book closure date for KCB was on 3rd September 2025, and the payment date will be on 11th November 2025. And the final amount, if you owned 100,000 shares of KCB as at the book closure date, you can expect to go home with 400,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. Now, you might be asking yourself, 100,000 shares, isn't that too ambitious? No, it is not. This is simply to challenge you and make you open your eyes to the possibilities of creating passive income for yourself and for the generations to come. Why? Because in the same market, that is in the Kenyan stock market, you still get investors who have invested, who own millions of shares of these companies. And for us, for the rest of us, we can only strive for that. And these numbers are to show you the possibilities and give you the motivation, because it is achievable. You can have a portfolio that has hundreds of thousands of shares. The only thing that can limit you is yourself saying that this number is too big. And with that, what do you guys think? Should we have a challenge next year, that is 2026, to challenge ourselves and build our investment portfolios? Like this year, we had a challenge of saving 100,000 in a money market fund account, and I'm so happy to see so many of the participants have already exceeded that amount. Should we have a challenge for accumulating shares. Maybe you can start with 10,000 shares of your favorite companies. Let me know, should we do this? Let me know in the comment section below. And with that, that's it for this week's video. Stay tuned because this month I'll be sharing so many videos on the topic, including stay tuned for the best performing stocks in the Kenyan stock market since the year began, that is as at 1st October 2025, as well as another video for which companies I am watching. Yeah. So that's it for this week's video. I'll see you in the next one, and share your thoughts in the comment section below, and share this with someone who will benefit from such a channel, right? Okay, apart from that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.